Tonight I'm going to be making cannellini bean salad. I mentioned this in the grocery bag video. This is a really quick recipe. I've been looking at some online and I just kind of put my own things in there, and you can do the same. If you're wondering if the kitchen is different, it is. I did move. I forgot to tell everybody. People have been asking, so I did move, so that's why everything's different. And I did get a tripod, so I'm happy about that too. Anyway, here we go. These are the ingredients you will need. First, you're going to need, I'm using the Newman's Own light Italian dressing, but you can use, you know, olive oil and lemon, some of them called for. You can use red wine vinegar and olive oil, but I'm just going to use this bottled dressing here. You see that? Because the stats are really good. 2 tablespoons is 60 calories, and I don't have to think about measuring what, you know, what's in here and putting the spices in because it's already there for me. But if you have an Italian dressing that you like, you use that or just make up your own. Okay, the next thing you'll need is diced tomatoes. Now, the Italian diced tomatoes or the regular would be best. All I had was the ones with the green chilies in it, and so that's what I'm going to use. It doesn't quite go well, but you know. So I'm going to use about 1/2 of a can of that. And of the Newman's Own, I'm going to start out with about 3 tablespoons of that, which will be 90 calories for the whole salad. Then you'll need a can of cannellini beans. Let me see if I can get you closer. And those are basically white kidney beans, but it's an Italian bean. And then you'll need some salt and pepper. And that is Italian seasoning right there. And, let me see if I can, oh, there we go. Italian seasoning. You can use fresh herbs. I do have some fresh herbs I'm going to use, but I don't have a real sharp knife that'll cut this basil. So I wanted to use some fresh and then some Italian seasoning. So you can do that, and it's, as you can see, it's just regular Italian seasoning. And then down here I have some fresh basil, and I just cut some of this and then I tore some of it. I'm going to put that in there. I'd like the pieces to be a little smaller in the salad, but I'm going to use that. I would say that's about maybe 2 tablespoons of that, but you add whatever fresh herbs or dry herbs that you have. And that is about a teaspoon of minced garlic. And what I did was to make it smaller, because raw garlic can be kind of sharp tasting. So what I did was I put it in this bowl, put some salt on it, and kind of pasted it just to break it down a little bit. I learned that on Rachel Ray 30-minute meals. So try that out, or if you have the garlics that's really fine, that would be even better. And then I'm using about, I'd say, 1/4 of a cup of a red onion. And that is all of the ingredients. And you will need, of course, a bowl. And I'm going to get started now. Okay, now you get your bowl set up, and the first thing you're going to do is put in a can of the cannellini beans. You just drain those as well as you can. If there's some left, that's okay. It'll give it a little bit more moisture, and you won't have to add so much dressing or oil or whatever. So that'll make it a lighter dish. So you just put those in the bowl, and you can use more than 1 can, but I'm just making this basically for me, so I'm just using 1. And then I'm going to use just 1/2 of the can of diced tomatoes, because I don't want to use a whole one because the beans are the star of the dish. So I'm going to use 1/2 of a can, and you'll want to drain these as much as you can as well. And if you have some juice, don't worry about it. Okay, that's about 1/2 of a can. And I'm going to use the rest for something else. So just give that a stir. Alright, now take your garlic, and here it is. You can see it's kind of got some juice in it because I've been mashing on it. But if you have garlic that is mashed finer, that would be a lot better. But that is what I had, so I'm going to mix that in. And you can leave the garlic out if it's not something that you really like. Next, I'm going to put in the red onion as I do it all over the floor, and the fresh basil. And if you don't have fresh basil, don't worry about it. I don't cook with a lot of fresh herbs myself. I actually went and bought that for this dish. Now, just give that a stir. Ooh, that's looking good. Let's see if you can see that better. Now, what I'm going to do is add in, I would say, let's do about a tablespoon or a teaspoon of the Italian seasoning, whatever you'd like. And I'm going to mix that in just to look at it and see. Yeah, I believe that's going to be good. And you may just want to leave that out since you're going to use Italian dressing. And I may next time. It just depends on how strong it is. Okay, there it is so far. Now I'm going to take the Newman's Own light Italian dressing, and I'm going to start out with just 2 tablespoons, and just give that a good shake. Okay, that's one, and I just use a regular spoon. I don't have any measuring spoons, so yeah, I think that's going to be great with just the 2. So that's 60 calories for the dressing for the whole thing. Okay, the other calories, the main calories, is from the beans, and that's a half a cup is 90 calories, 7 grams of protein. And I'm using just the Bush's cannellini beans, but you can check whichever one you're using. And the tomatoes are like nothing, 25 calories for a half a cup, you know, and I used to use a half of a can. So then you're going to take your salt and just put a little of this to start out with, because if you did paste the garlic with the salt, you don't want to add too much. Now I'm going to put some black pepper, and I really like black pepper, so I'm going to use that. And I just thought about something else that I can use, if I can hurry up and find it. Here it is. The crushed red pepper flake. I'm going to use a little bit of that. Now I don't want to go too overboard with this. I'm going to put a little bit in my hand, about that, maybe a fourth of a teaspoon. I'm just going to crush it up, and that way it releases the oils in this dried spice and breaks it up a little bit too. That way you don't get a big mouthful of it. So I'm going to mix that up. Mix that all together, and then I'm going to give it a taste to see if it needs anything else. But gosh, this looks good. Look how fresh that looks. Now, okay, and I'm going to mix this up all the way. Now let me give it a little taste here. How about one more? If it's for me, I can double dip. That's really good. That's really good. I probably would leave out a little bit more of the Italian seasoning because I have the dressing too. So you can leave that out if you like, or just put a little bit. But there is the cannellini bean salad. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer. I hope you'll try this and enjoy. Have a good evening. I'll talk again soon.